One Planet Zoo master's scrap is another builder's treasure. Today I'm touring 3 parks that never got finished, not because they were bad, but because they were too ambitious, too experimental, or simply too hard to keep pushing. Everton Zoo, Hallett Park Zoo, Gardens of Atlas by Iben. All 3 are available on the workshop right now, and all 3 contain some genuinely brilliant ideas that never really got the spotlight they would have deserved. So 3 zoos, 1 video, join me. And here we are in Hallett Park Zoo, and can I just say before we hop in, I really appreciate and admire the, I'm not gonna say humility, that's a big word, but I really admire the transparency at play here for a big respected creator by the name of Iben, to really upload these absolutely unfinished works. Like, this is, you will notice right away, this is not finished, far from it. This is a project that was aborted, so it's warts and all, but I really appreciate the openness in sharing this with us and just seeing behind the scenes in the creation process of oh, look at that sightline already with the tower there. But yeah, even in the little video he did, which I implore you to go check out, it will give you so much more context and explanation, so much more than I can give you. Go check out his video that he did about these 3 zoos and 2 other projects that will explain far more his reasoning and but then again that video doesn't really show you all of the stuff like this, like the whole parking lots that he already had been putting work into and the animal hospital and everything. So it was already pretty accomplished before he even started the entrance itself, classic Planet entrance. Who hasn't played a bit of Planet entrance back in their day? I know I have for certain. So of course I don't know how much of this was made by Iben, but knowing Iben, he's very much capable of doing things like this. So yeah, but let's actually go check out this place, starting with the beautiful entrance area here. You have, as you can see over there, bicycle rack, ATMs, the exit right over here. Let's go get our tickets here, speak into this little what is that? Is there a word for that? If there is, I don't know it. But look at this beautiful bell tower up there, and enter the guest relations building to get perhaps like a year-round ticket, as it says over there. A whole year at the zoo. Of course, we'd love to do this. And then we are ready to enter this place. The way Iben has explained it is that he feels like he created a sightline in the beginning, a concept, and he felt like that was already so good that he felt like he had to sort of do that good of a habitat each time, and he felt a bit like drained and exhausted by the idea of I need to keep topping myself and that first idea, and he sort of abandoned the project. I think Iben very much explained to us in that video that he's a perfectionist in that sense, and that he will move on from something if it's not completely up to his liking, but even what's there already shows huge signs of brilliance. This is the Darwin House, intended to be like a part of the old zoo that is still present, a sort of South American little forest area that was intended to feature a sloth, but not the actual sloth from Frontier, but a koala based sloth mod, which actually isn't present in the zoo at all. Oh, that actually happened in the video as well. And we start here with this gorgeous little entrance, which is actually meant to evoke the cabin that Charles Darwin would dwell in on the HMS Beagle, which is the ship on which he famously traveled to go meet and explore a whole new world of wildlife and form his many interesting ideas. So we get into this atmospheric little rainforest dome, and as you can see there is a climbing frame present, but there will be no koalas in here, and we get some armadillos in this wonderful leafy lush very realistic, real zoo vibes with the walls and everything. And there's actually a cute little platform up here that we can get up on and check the armadillos from up high. Seems to be very pleased and just standing still over there. But yeah, I love all the little tricks you can see with the cork path and the mulch and then the leaves. But yeah, I think you can agree with me that this is very much the atmosphere of a real zoo, kind of old-fashioned in a way. Like a lot of what you see here would be very modern and upscale once upon a time. I love these, by the way, these little like food holders for, I'm going to assume, would be birds that would be flying in here. I think that's the idea, right? That birds would actually be flying around here, or perhaps butterflies. I'm not sure. I should have watched the video they did about this, but I clicked away as soon as he explained the thing about the slots. So let's assume it's birds or butterflies in these wonderful little trays. And then we have obviously 3 big old Galapagos tortoises right over here. Or, yep, 3 it is. Again, this is, you know, you could almost say this is not like a luxurious habitat for these animals at all, but I think very much the idea of this was built before most of the zoo and has been kept intact, you know, with these walls and everything. But yeah, you can imagine the humidity in here, and this is also a touch that I feel like I need to talk about. This little crane here, this water crane, completely embedded into the gutter here with the vines around it. Just a wonderful little touch that he remarked on, that he was proud of it. So I'd love to show that to you as well. And yeah, I agree with you. That's something that I've never considered doing, but a great little touch. And now we are through with the Darwin house already. Unfinished as it is, because it doesn't feature all of the animals. And on we go. Also, I just love like these little huge tiles here. And it's not built the way you expect it to. It's just a whole bit of plaster. And then it has these little, I think like yeah, these planks in between, making it look like these large tiles, but in effect it's actually a raised effect and not a shadow. But I've seen lots of people do this. This is actually the first time I've really looked down and tried to find out how it's done, and I think now that I know it, it's very easily accomplished by me myself. I mean, not trying to boast or anything, but it's actually a pretty neat trick that I think I can do as well. So what we are going to meet right up here. Oh, there's actually a little functional restaurant right over here, which makes sense, right? Very often at the entrance you have, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is all stuff that's not ready yet and won't be ready ever. But this restaurant at the beginning of the zoo is very common. Oops. Those people just got snapped by Thanos. Very common, both for people entering the zoo, leaving the zoo, just like a central place for them to eat. But I think this is what Iben would like for me to show off to you, and that is his safari view. Even though even the big peak moment of the zoo itself isn't completely finished, I will agree with him is that this is a very accomplished concept, because what you're looking at is 3 different habitats. The one here in the front, very large mixed habitat. Then you have this strip of land for the elephants, and then at the back you get zebra and the scimitar oryx, and then that little African village, which is below our eye level, as you can see, because this whole area slopes down, so that guarantees we get a view of all of the animals, and that the animals don't really obstruct each other or anything. And yeah, I agree, this is, as much as it hasn't been fully realized, a great concept, and absolutely a showstopper. Like, the first thing you see in the zoo after the Darwin house is this, and I think you would absolutely, start grabbing your camera or your phone be taking a lot of pictures and already be impressed. And I think that was a bit of Iben's issue here, as he admitted so himself, is that he peaked too soon in this zoo, and that he feels like this is already so good, I have to keep doing things like this in the rest of the zoo, and yeah, he just wasn't feeling it that way. If at any point during this recording I feel like I'm disparaging Iben, please don't take it the wrong way. I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. You know, I love that this is on the workshop. I absolutely do. Just to show you behind the scenes, as I said. Also, I love this little, what's the word? My girlfriend would know the word, the colonnade? No, that's not a colonnade. There's a word for this, probably a fancy little word. So you get your little unfinished section here with these things used for scale and walls to be used, and loose ideas. We'll look at all of that, but first let's try and visit the most complete part of the zoo. And I think this is what we're going to go to next. Seems like the obvious way. I guess since this looks like the way forward, we'll go check what's over there first. But this is the Asia section, and the idea here was to go for a bit of a ruined temple. And I actually remember watching the videos on YouTube about this this part of the zoo and being genuinely very, very, very impressed and being like, I can never do something like this. And it's just funny that like a build that Iben himself, you know, although he appreciates it, still feels like it wasn't as good as he wanted it to. And I'm here like, oh my god, this is beautiful. It's funny how you know, every creator, everyone who builds Implant Zoo has their own standards and their own, you know, like this is what I think is my best, and this is what I think isn't my best, while other people will be absolutely floored by the stuff you see here, like the use of these ruined pieces and then the brick underneath to sort of imply that the brick was always there, but these parts have fallen off, and then the scaffolding. And just the color scheme, and then writing the word Asia out of these pieces. And then you get the Babirusa and the otter here with this beautiful like little it's so cool, so real, combining the natural and the geometric, and this little border here, which you could totally envision, although there is wiring here, but it feels like the otters would actually walk over here and try to interact with the guests, because otters are just like that, really, really, what's the word, gregarious animals, I think that's the word. But you know, this is such an accomplished habitat, and I really love it. I think it actually uses mulch pieces as terrain here to great effect, of course. What a genius touch. Never and never have I ever thought of doing that, of using this mulch as a coastline. But it's wonderful, just like a little touch that probably comes to mind very easily to minds like Iben, but not to me, it doesn't. But great little habitat to the side here. Also, I love these fences, love everything about this. So let's actually go in here. One great thing that Iben did put in here, and that he did talk about in the videos about this zoo, and I think we can see it at play here, is it looks like the temple path, as you can see right over here, like it advances quite a long way into the temple, right? It looks like you can sort of continue walking right up until that brick wall. But as you advance, you notice that this wall, this path has been broken up in several habitats, and that's just a touch that you see in real zoos all over, creating the illusion that your world and the animal world are the animal habitat world are connected, and that's just a wonderful touch. I think Iben should be proud of this for sure. You have this little seating area to the side where you can relax and check out this centerpiece habitat for the gibbon, the Lar gibbon, and I just love the scaffolding everywhere. Such a unique atmospheric touch, and adds such cohesion to the site, really. Oh, we get a cute little indoor section here for the otters. Great stuff. But yeah, the scaffolding is such an inspirational touch, and that looks like the gibbon's indoor section. Just a simple but great and effective climbing frame here. I love this huge potted tree that now is just a potted bush. Anyway, yes, more gibbon stuff, but we head down, and this is probably where the area would continue. Does look like there's stuff. We'll actually zoom out at the end to see if there's any secrets that we've missed. But the second habitat here is for the langurs, that's the way you say it, and they have a huge swath of land to themselves. The langur, of course, much more a ground-dwelling monkey. And yeah, I love the water fountain here, which actually does have a drinking basin present in it, so that the monkeys do actually drink from it. But I love the mixture here of the geometric like angles and the more natural terrain around it. Did that log just move? Did I just see paranormal activity in Planet Zoo? Anyway, you can just rewind and see what I'm talking about. But just a great habitat for this wonderful modded monkey. Great mod by, I believe, Monsoon. Actually, I'll look this up. Little jump cut. Yes, Monsoon. It's a Monsoon and a Leaf co-production, with Leaf doing the code and Monsoon doing the model. So yeah, also one that you might have seen in a recent video of mine, present in one of my zoos. And I know for certain there's actually a Bengal tiger. Oh yes, there we go. That's exactly I imagine what Iben wants this to be. There we go. Absolutely right on cue. Fantastic. Let me actually pause the game right there. Such an accomplished moment there with the steps. This step looking like it just continues into those steps. Fan-bloody-tastic. That's precisely the kind of stuff that you check these little projects out for, to see that it work that way. It just absolutely looks like this tiger is present in the monkey habitat. And look at it. Oh my god, yes. Can you imagine this? Looking at this, you would just be snapping all of the pictures and wondering, like, where is the moat? Where is the separation? There is one down there. It's one of those hidden moats with a fence in it. But I'm so happy I got to see this little moment with the tiger. I do wonder. There probably is a intended. I'm not sure. Is there a intended viewing area for the tiger? Because these guests are, looking at it between parentheses. But perhaps there was or is eventually going to be a tiger viewing area, but I'm not too sure if that ever was in the works. Perhaps it was always meant to be this little viewing moment. I'm not sure. That's also part of the mystery, I guess, of this zoo, is that you don't know what comes next, because it's never going to be there. Anyway, let's zoom out from this little section to make sure we don't miss anything before we move on. But yeah, I feel like more was coming. And then let's head back over here to continue our trek into the more African section. Praise the Lord for null barriers and a creative mode in Sandbox, meaning that these giraffes will not escape. A long walk here leads us past the savannah, offering us new views. Clean up your trash, people. It looks like there's actually... That's an African elephant. Was this meant... Hey! Oh, okay. I understand it now. Yes. The African elephant does have a bridge. An unfinished one, clearly, that they can walk under, which is so cool. Imagine an elephant walking under you, and they get their second yard over here. And I do see, and that is so cool, and I wonder from if we can check it out from close by, but it does look like there is an island of baboons in the middle of the elephant habitat. And not sure if the baboons are actually meant to be able to get off of it. Yeah, they are. All right, so we do get the baboons. What am I saying? These are the mandrills. That's fair. That's the mandrills. Perhaps eventually you even was going to replace these with the baboons. I'm not sure. But we do get the red river hawk and the mandrill and the African elephant in a habitat that is very clearly, yeah, a wonderful concept. Not fully finished, but you love to see it. And this is a path that will just lead, let's just check that out to make sure, will lead us around. And we get whole parts that we will not experience, unfortunately. But we'll check out all of that at the end. I should try and keep these short, because this is gonna be a long video, I feel. Or not, who knows. Anyway, this is a part that Iben was very happy with, and I will agree with him. His African village, a tasteful, respectful, sort of muted African village. It's not like crazy colorful, but it's just realistic earthy colors combined with the leafy greens, and the lighting in the game is also doing wonders here. This is a very beautiful, accomplished environment, and I do understand, you know, if building this, looking at it, I feel I do understand that you're putting like pressure on yourself to, you know, to do as well as this in all future areas of the zoo. We do get this little habitat that doesn't have anything in it. It does feel like this would have warthogs in it. Is there actually a barrier present or something? What is this habitat? Should I put warthogs in here? Does this habitat have a name? Ankole cow. That's fair. I do actually have that mod. So let's actually put a couple of them in here and come back to it to see the vision realized, I guess. Oh, there's actually some tigers and a hyena in here. I wonder where the hyena was going to go. So we'll see the cows when we return, because they will be in here. And now, yeah, I see the vision. I understand. Since they are domesticated animals, it does make sense that they would be in like the backyard of this village. Anyway, let us continue on through this gorgeous, gorgeous little village. Each of these huts is pretty much fully realized inside. You get this little snack area, which has like a fake kitchen interior with fridge and everything, actually with smoke effects there on the stove or frying surface at the very least. And then you get these gorgeous interiors with the art and the lamps and the roof and the shield and the little windows and the view here into the other end of the savannah habitat rather. And you get a more open and grand view here. And as you can see, since the area has been sloping down, you don't get the same glorious overview. In fact, it feels like deliberately designed that when you're here, you don't get the whole experience. This is a more intimate experience with these animals here at the sort of the border line here of this little river area. So great. That's a cool fence I've never used. Anyway, more huts. There's a guy doing a great Michael Jackson dance routine over here. Are you a guy? Excuse me. Well, perhaps you are. Let's not judge. Anyway, yep. Very, very classic little... get a few bit of drinks here. Some Fanta. Sit here. Put the stroller with the kid here. Relax from the craziness and then continue your trek. Can you tell I'm a father by these references to strollers and everything? And there you go. You have a little porcupine section here. Very realistic, gorgeous with these the real burrows here. You love to see it. I love all the shades of brown here. All the shades of brown working together to create a beautiful experience, truly. This is sectioned off. It is restrooms, that's staff area. But look how nice even this little piece is. Ah, and the waterfall, love it. So that's the porcupine. I assume this is a little window to them. Yes, a great little like designed view here. So also the kids leaning down get their little gorgeous sightline experience. There you go. That's what you wanted to happen, right? Yep. What else does this visage? What else does this visage? And also this village have to offer? Well, we have. Let's go here first, because it does look like everyone is panicking. Sort of a classroom. Also a very classic classroom. And the Watusi has actually appeared now in their habitat. So this is what Iben wanted you to see. This amazing, kind of ridiculous animal with the huge horns. And yeah, it does really make sense now that you see them, that they would be in here. And I just love the path here. Where there's a lot of decals at work here to make it look grimy and damaged and aged and worn. Great stuff. It's not just putting plaster in the floor. There's, you know, actually now that I'm looking at it, this whole path just looks so textured and grimy, and that's because a lot of work has gone into it. Iben is a bit of a decal master, I must say. He makes all of his walls look so real and lived in and used and textured, way beyond. As you can see, there's so many pieces at play here to make it look interesting. Much more than a mere mortal could accomplish. Anyway, guys, I'm getting so distracted. This is, I believe... Oh, I also didn't put them in here. This was a flamingo habitat. So let me do a quick little jump cut once again. And there you go, the flamingos are in. Fun fact, for some reason I brought like a whole tower of like crackers, salted crackers, to this recording session. Like, what was I thinking? That you would love the sound of me munching crackers in this microphone? So they're just sitting here by my side. Anyway, the flamingo, and yeah, what a sight it is with the lake back there. And look at these, like, I should know the word for this. Are these pylons? Are these like pylons? Let me Google that right with you. Yeah, those are pylons, like, you know, to bring electricity to and fro. Bringing straight from the African village a touch of just the real world into this zoo. And then you get the big lake that Iben made. And then the flamingos, their habitat sort of disappearing into the big lake. But, you know, obviously, thankfully sectioned off. And yeah, I love the scale of the forest back there, looking quite imposing and tall. And this little bend in the water here. And there you go, the flamingos. You love it. I mean, I assume you do. And the final habitat that we can show to you here is, although explore mode is a bit too tall for this, so let's get down, the African wild dog. And I am running a remaster for it to make these wonderful animals even more vivid and colorful. But this is another wonderful habitat, and what I love about this is that it deliberately has a limited view. You are not quite sure, as you can see, what else is there for the animal. You just know that there. Oh, I love that fence. I love the smart design of the corner here. You might know, guys, I'm a fence enthusiast in the sense that I love looking at how good other people's fences are. I love that green color with the ivy, and then the smart little turn here. That's smart. But yeah, I love the mystery of this habitat, that they're back there somewhere, and when you are lucky, they will come down here, and you can see him like this. Oh, he just went in the water. That's awesome. And they're actually right behind the corner. You know, this habitat has its mystery. They can be right next to you and you don't even notice. And as you can tell, that is awesome. It does have a moat over here, keeping the wild dogs from the water. If that was the final intended look for it, I'm not too sure. Somehow it feels like it wasn't, but I think the idea is clear that you don't want the dogs to go swimming off, but you also want to ensure that at no point when you're standing here, or here in fact, where's the other room here, that you don't see the interruption, and that it does look like the wild dog could swim away. Like, you know, it's the color of this wall was deliberately chosen to look like the color of the water, and I think that was very much a very good choice. So that's the African village for you. I think you actually have to leave it again to backtrack from it. I don't think there's another way out of it. I don't know how much else Iben had planned, but I think the only real thing for us still to visit is this little thing over here, but I don't think this was a planned habitat. What I think this is, I hear that in the Darwin house, as I said, there was going to be a sloth that was actually a modded koala, so that you could have a free roaming sloth, but apparently there were issues with her climbing, and I kind of think that this is like a testing habitat for the sloth slash koala, to get them to climb and actually move around. I think that's the idea. This was clearly not meant to be a habitat, or wasn't going to become one, but was going to be a sort of little experiment. And I think one final thing that, well, two final things here. This is number one, of course. We actually haven't been really paying attention to this tower. It probably was present in a lot of little shots that I had, but this tower was actually going to be able to be approached by visitors. You have this wonderful long and winding road. Oh my god, let's move down again. So beautiful. Flanked to the left and right by these towers, these gently sloping hills, and then the tower right over there. What this was going to be, probably just like a panoramic area, a bit of an educational site maybe, but then you would have gotten this beautiful sightline of the fully completed zoo. And this is a very much, as you can tell, unfinished section. And this is where I believe even sort of the zoo lost steam. Another section was going to be this sort of, I believe, North Atlantic Pacific Ocean? I think North Atlantic Ocean, right? Section, and you get this starting concept for a splash pad where kids, mostly kids, I imagine, would just play around in the water here. You can get your hot dogs, burgers and fries here, but as you can tell, that is pretty much where the zoo ended, because Iben felt like this wasn't up to the standards that he had set for himself. And you know, I'm not going to say anything against that. If I built this, I would be like, oh my god, people have to see this, I have to put this on YouTube. While Iben actually thought the better of it and thought, I'm going to showcase this as a, you know, between quotes, a failed part of my zoo. And that is already the whole of this little unfinished section. You know, there's some background stuff. Doesn't everyone have these little blueprint palettes, including one that was probably accidentally copied twice. You get some fence blueprints over here with some great stuff. Are there some more hidden secrets in here? I don't think there are. There's just some backstage stuff. The entirety of the wild dog habitat, as you can see, they actually have a whole lot more room. one has to wonder if guests were ever intended to see that, because what you actually see is a very small slice of this habitat. And yeah, I think you get the idea. And let's move on to the next project, in fact, because there's 2 more that we're going to look at today. Oh, what is this map actually? Is this a career map? I think so. All right, let's move on. All right, second zoo that we're going to showcase to you here today is actually inspired by a whole slew of Dutch zoos. But I think, to me, since I so famously toured just Goran's Beekse tour, walking tour and car tour and boat tour, that's what comes to mind immediately. These trees to me are iconic. But Iben didn't show it in his little video of this zoo, but he built a large, and I do mean very large parking lot. In fact, he hasn't completely finished it before you even enter this place. And this is called the Gardens of Atlas, and the idea was, what if these people had a big budget, the people, you know, who built Beekse and I think like Blijdorp, I think also as well. What if they had a big budget? What would they build? And right away you get this very striking structure, which isn't anywhere near finished. This was intended to be a, as you can see, there's plans for a gift shop, an exit, a gift shop entrance from the zoo, as you can see. And this was going to be, as Iben has planned for us here, a restaurant. And his idea for the restaurant was, as you can see, pretty fancy surroundings, and you would actually be on the terrace right over here and get a wonderful view here of the white-ruffed lemur. Sorry, Iben, I know you did put mallard ducks in here. I didn't have that mod download at the moment, so I put some other ducks in here, but let's talk about that later. This is a very, and I mean very accomplished lemur island. Just beautiful planting, beautiful retaining planks holding back the dirt, also at the other end of the moat with the trees back there. A simple but effective climbing structure, and just this beautiful building here with so much grime and dirt and detailing going on, and this little bridge. And yes, indeed, Iben is of the opinion that it's very fun to place you know, just wildlife that would naturally visit a zoo, like ducks and the like, in these habitats. And I think that really makes sense, because if you've ever been to a zoo that has like water in it, you will actually very often see ducks there, and you will see pigeons, you will see herons, you'll see sparrows and everything, animals from the surrounding areas that do rightfully regard this as a nice place to live. So I did put another species of duck in here, but I feel like the concept carries through all the same. A lot of what you're seeing is actually accomplished through the free build mod. As you can see, the habitat entrance, actually, I should download the free build mod. Why haven't I done that? The entrance to the habitat is actually here, and it is under the ground. And the path, which is covered by water, also thanks to free build, the keepers can actually visit this habitat even though there's water, but there's no bridge for the keepers. As you can see, they're going to just wade through the water as they would in the actual real zoo, if this was a real thing. But I just love the lushness of this, the use of all the different plants, the periwinkle, the saltworth, everything. Very beautiful habitat, and I feel like it is an exclusive view right over here for this fancy restaurant that never actually came into existence. And I'm not sure where I go next. I think this was also meant to be the entrance, and I'm just going to take this little path here, feels like. So yeah, the concept right over here, the concept for this zoo and part of the zoo is very much the large sightlines, as he said in the video, inspired by, for example, Beekse, which is a very expansive zoo, and it doesn't hide away other habitats. In fact, very much the opposite. It offers views very deep into other habitats. And if you're standing here with this rustic little goat habitat, you get an opportunity to see the Madagascar setting here with lemurs. I'm not sure if the giraffes were intended to be visible from here. I'm not sure. I think they were going to be hidden away. But a very funny little goat habitat, which is not necessarily an entrance animal you expect, but I like it. And right over here you get, this is the entrance to the restaurant Le Vari, which I believe is just French for the lemur. But again, the decal master at work. All of these things are pretty old for Plant Zoo standards. If you look at what Iben does right now, this doesn't showcase Iben to his fullest. I will say that I feel like he will agree. This man is a madman when it comes to using pieces creatively, using decal pieces for starters, but also just creating little scenes out of pieces. Genuinely, go check out his current series, The Zoo of Ghent. Fantastic series so far, and I hope he gets to finish it before Plant Zoo 2 comes out. But again, this is great stuff, but it's not the best that Iben can do. And I love these little planks holding back the islands. It's just these simple little touches that, again, you don't necessarily think of doing yourself. You get this little grid here that the lemurs would avoid, and then you are in the actual lemur Madagascar setting, and I love it. They're climbing all over the place in the actual trees, as you can tell, jumping from tree to tree. All of these ropes over. There's so many of them in here. In fact, it feels like there's a hidden foraging enrichment here. They actually can, these fences are also climbable, and from time to time you'll actually see them. There you go, this juvenile here actually running over the fence. Such a lively habitat with lots of inspirational theming. This is a custom-made motorcycle. Signs explaining all the habitats, the animals, that live here. Wonderful stacked rock, 2,112 pieces. Just to put that into perspective. Little stacked rock barrier here. But great stuff right over here, and I'm gonna change it a bit like this, because through the use of free build, Iben actually placed, they're actually not doing it at the moment, but he placed sleeping like hay on this roof, and they actually, in his video it's showcased much better, they're actually sleeping on this roof in the sunlight. And then there is this like little water play area that you see in many zoos. I think this is perhaps the one from Goran's Beekse or based on it. But look at this wonderful, grimy little old looking construction with a view into the delightfully like dirty, low budget looking interior habitat. And this is wonderful phone. I think this showcases better what Iben does, right? Behind the scenes, there's so much going on to make this telephone work. But there they go. There we go. There's a bunch there. Right on cue, the lemurs are deciding to hang out. And then, you get this another thing that he said, these slats that the keepers can use to pin these little trays behind. Great stuff. And wilde dieren te koop, wild animals for sale. This is also just an educational area for the trade in captured wild animals, because some animals like monkeys are often captured and sold as pets in the illegal animal trade. Yet another humbling moment here where we are reminded how much the animal world needs our protection instead of our exploitation. But on that note, let's continue on. Because let's make the jump here. The next section, we also could have avoided the lemur island for those who don't like monkeys. And we get the giraffe, and I always mix these two up, the Thompson's gazelle, with a lovely little river here with the stacked waterfalls, and you get the tall giraffes with the building, which I believe was based on the Bledorp building. And I love the sloping hills behind the giraffes here. How much of that would have still be filled in by the zoo, we will never know. Iben will know, of course. But this at the other end is the white rhino habitat. As you can see, it would have stretched on considerably into this forest. But I heard Iben say that at this point, like, he was already losing a bit of steam for the project. He felt like, oh, this is what the zoo is going to be, just these fields with these trees. And he was already sort of done with the project, while, you know, me, I'm just looking at this like, oh my god, he built a viewing bus. Like, this is brilliant, that you can sit in and look at the rhinos from up close. I'm like, oh my god, if I built this, I was going to would be like, holy crap, look at this. But again, different standards for everyone. I love this stuff. He says that the building doesn't really make sense for giraffes, and I understand that there would have been, I think, like, sort of a viewing section for guests here. I think this would be for the shelter for the giraffes. And believe it or not, that is where Iben stopped building. There is, as you can see, so much more going on. There's like a whole mysterious road section. I think that all of that was just background noise. But there's like terrain work going on, creating these sloping hills as a backdrop for the zoo. In fact, there is a slight slope for the whole zoo going on. But that is actually where Iben called it a day, including this enrichment item, which is actually flipped upside down, which is a trick that just Goran pioneered. But that is actually where Iben called it a day. Go check it out on the workshop. Who knows? Maybe you want to finish this little zoo and try to continue the vision. I myself, I've fallen in love with this tree ever since visiting Goran's zoo and visiting the zoo that it was based on. And I'm going to be using a lot more, vibes like this, like foliage that is actually part of the local biome with animals living in it that are not part of the biome. Because these trees obviously do not grow in Madagascar, but they still add so much atmosphere. And that is it for this second little zoo, the Gardens of Atlas. Let us move on to the third and final project that Iben has shared with us. And here we are in the zoo, which Iben actually titled Everton Park /Zoo. I should know this stuff before clicking record. Anyway, Everton Park Zoo. This is the zoo, and as you can tell, there's also a road leading up to it and a wonderful bus, but you get the zoo. And this was very much more of a garden feel, as you can tell. Lots of plants going on, and instantly a brightness in color that I really love to see. And you get these stairs and these wonderful little ramps for accessibility. And here is Jamie's little popcorn and bakery stand with look at that, an actual working chimney here to get rid of the damps and stuff from the damps. Oh my god, my English is failing. Wonderful rose bushes. Love the height of the forest behind it. And would you look at this? What is this? A little stand to sell something, but look at the awesome drapery on top of it. Anyway, what I love about this zoo instantly is of course, the Ferris wheel. Instantly drawing your attention, and look at this deliberate view here with the, carved out of the trees and bushes around it. Carefully trimmed, I imagine, by the greenkeepers of the zoo, and then you get little touches like this. but also just like the planted feel of this, the more this is a park as much as it is a zoo kind of feel, with, you know, rustic benches, wonderfully trimmed paths to sit. And it actually takes a while before you see the first animal. You can let's go here first. I feel like this is more the idea. You can actually go up here and wait for your turn on the Ferris wheel. What I love also is there's a path underneath here, but of course through the use of pieces and trim, actually the path looks much more organic and curved, which is not possible with the Plant Zoo 1 pathing. Who knows, Plant Zoo pathing will resemble the Plant Coaster pathing more, and we can actually do stuff like this. Imagine if this was an actual functioning thing. We are actually going to get up there at the end of the tour and see what the sightline would have been like. But let's continue past this beautiful planted area. And Iben's idea for this zoo very much was to create a bunch of really unique and different areas that you wouldn't see in many zoos. And this Congo forest is something I also remember very well, seeing it on YouTube and being inspired and impressed. But you will see right away as we enter, I love this sign immediately, and the little like wooden trimming here and the forested feeling of this, the shadow. We enter this tent, and we have the wonderful show building here with the go away green. I bet you didn't even notice that at first, that there's a building back here. But as you enter this tent, this sort of like researcher's hub with a laptop, coffee machine and a radio, you enter the Congo building, and right away you get bats, a little bat section here with the wonderful custom work to hide the actual enrichment from the bat things and replace them for right over here with actual rock. I love it. And there's a guy here ready to answer questions. Oh yeah, I remember this. Like the porcupine is almost like free roaming over here. Such an interesting, and he's of course here making sure no one actually handles or touches or harasses the animals. What a lovely little environment this is. And then you leave already? Wait, was there more intended? I'm not sure, because the show building is very big. What else was going to be in here? Let's. And that's actually the building. This is the Congo expedition. I'm not missing anything. What is living in here actually? Oh, this actually is a habitat for something, but I don't think there's something in here. Was it going to be something? I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. There we go. There's an aardvark up here as well. I love it. I love that it has this like playground back there. It's so carefully hidden. It can even come up all the way up to here if it wants to. That's such a clever idea. And I love the clouds up here. What a funky little building. I love it. And then as you leave the Congo expedition, you do get, as you can see, there was plans for the typical Congo forest habitat over here with the forest buffalo. This never came to fruition, as you can see. There is a habitat over here though. I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, this is just one optional yard for them to hang out in. Look at this lushness and the depth of the foliage. I love it. But yeah, there was clearly more going to come. And as you can see, there's even a habitat hidden back there. Wait, what am I saying? This is not for the forest buffalo. This is for the bongo back there. Excuse me. I got a little bit misled by the layout here. But yeah, much more was coming. And just like the split of the Beatles and the death of so many artists, we shall never know what was going to come next, and no doubt it was going to be beautiful. But let's go over here and exit the building with some of our dignity remaining, hopefully. Because you do get this beautiful lakeside view, and you can imagine if the whole thing had been completed, the views that you would be getting here, all of the habitats and the buildings and the people and everything. This would have been a grand sight indeed. But for now, it is just unfulfilled potentials. Insert cry noises. No, again, don't let this come across as in any way disparaging of the efforts of Iben. He is very much an example to me for building, an example to detail and everything. And I can only inspire to the talent, and also just, you know, being a mainstay in the community and doing a lot of very interesting videos lately about the future of Plant Zoo too. Go check them out. And it does look like we actually have swans here that can live here on the lake. I do wonder if they have the whole lake to them. They probably do. And this island here. Wow, there's a lot of people in here. They're sort of ruining the vibe, I have to say. And then you get this journey to the Billabong Oceania/Australia section, immediately setting the tone, as you can see, with a dash of color and life, reflecting the more vibrant coastal nature of what this was going to be, with the red rocks and everything, instantly taking you to another place with these seaside cabins and the netting and everything. Again, with the educational stuff. Oh my god, guys, this reminds me. Go to the Zoo of Ghent videos and go check out the boat that Iben built. And then you can see how far he has come when it comes to these educational little sections. This is nice, but go and check out what he can do right now. But yeah, his idea was to create unique little areas for everything. There's so many people here. I should have closed the zoo. But here you get a great habitat for the little penguin with a little baby. Or is that just a white adult? That is a white adult. Yes, indeed, which is also what I am, coincidentally. Anyway, yeah. And like, as you can tell, this is where Iben started to feel like the rest of the zoo wouldn't necessarily be up to his liking, and that is where he abandoned this Billabong section. As you can see there's like a whole bunch of mysterious stuff on the way. Who knows what all of this was going to be? Perhaps this was just going to be restrooms. That's also possible. But even then, nice restrooms. I've never built restrooms as nice as this. We get a picnic area, and vending machines that look very stylish. They were probably going to get some sort of billboard treatment. I'm not sure. But very crowded at the moment. Let me see. Have I skipped anything in here? I have. Oh my god, yes, I have. Alright, I did check this out. This is very much not ready to be shown, actually. This was going to be an indoor section of this area. As you can tell, the beginnings of a platypus habitat were forming. And obviously it was going to be beautiful, but alas, we shall never see the true vision. So yeah, we came in here, we checked this out. There was one final thing that Iben did spend time building. I still love the organic shapes of the paths all over, the dedication to make it wavy the whole way through, and then creating these this wavy barrier around it using that must have taken some time to create in a satisfying way, but boy did it pay off. So yeah, the Billabong section would have been enterable through here, and then I want to close the zoo. It won't do anything, but perhaps. Anyway, let's not close the zoo. If one more person enters, that will be my birth year. Not that you need to know that. I'm just a guy who says stuff. That's my actual job, and that's also what I do on YouTube, right? A guy who says stuff. Hello, swans. And as you can tell, the future of this zoo was never written. This looks like it would have been a North American environment, you would think, or perhaps a European one. But that is where, unfortunately, this project also ends. Oh, wait. Nope. I'm glad I zoomed out, because I was missing something. Let's go check out this place. Perhaps meant to be the way out of the Billabong area. Oh, look at the electrical wiring wrapping around the rock there. That is so cool. What pieces are those? A curved string. Genius. Genius. I don't know what lives in here or was meant to live in here. But I love the trees in the... Okay, there's genuinely too many people in here to enjoy. Okay, I'm so glad I zoomed out, because I was gonna miss a whole lot of stuff. This was going to be a pretty big section, with a beautiful lake here in the middle, a wavy area, and I have that over here that we don't know what would be living in here. What do you guys think would live in here? Like the dingo or something? I mean, it's not very big. The wombat? The Tasmanian devil? I don't know. Perhaps there is a hint if you check out the barriers. Where is the actual gate to this? Was it named after the animal? Habitat 8. So we won't know what would have lived in here, but regardless, I love the plants in here, the plant work, the transition from the feel of this area right away back to the more temperate environment. And unfortunately, that is it for this. Obviously, it would have wrapped around this whole lake, and it would have been a very unique and fun experience, and a loop around this lake with the little, paths around the lake. That feels like that was what it was going to be. And then just to leave this zoo behind, can we actually, I wonder if we can get explore mode to sit in here. Yes, we can. Well, not quite the way we wanted to. Let's just do it like this. The view obviously would have been fantastic. You would imagine that perhaps this would have been a planted roof, but doesn't really matter. But just imagine the view here that you would get around this entire lake, and who knows how far it was going to stretch. So yeah, in a way I'm almost tempted to take over and complete this, but that feels like I would do a disservice to what's already here. But it was actually a lot of fun. I hope you agree with me, visiting these 3 little unfinished projects, just getting a glimpse into... What is this? A 694 piece tree. Who knows what the plan was going to be for this? Those are all bamboo bushes. Oh man, where would he? You know what I was gonna try to say. But anyway, it was a lot of fun visiting this place and all the other ones. As you can see, it is already pretty fun to look at. But the potential, in a way, is also fun to enjoy, just imagining what else Iben would have done. But in truth, he did move on to do other great stuff. Go check out his contributions to Koali Zoo, St. Reginald Zoo. Go check out the Zoo of Ghent. He also has often collaborated and visited Just Goran on his channel. So yeah, fantastische zoo, Iben. Fantastisch om te mogen kijken. Just a little... Belgian little moment there. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I promise the lion video is coming soon. I'm sort of changing my mind about the way I'm editing it. I'm not sure if I want to do another extremely quick speed build. I'm not sure how many people actually enjoy watching that anymore. I think from now on I'm going to switch to a style where I just show what I made and then explain how I made it, because you know, Bolo Bolo is almost finished anyway. So yeah, I'll see you then, and thank you for watching. See ya.